Hi everyone and welcome. So previously we have covered that how you can create your own OPCUA server in the N3uron to expose all the data collected through any other data acquisition module within the N3uron. So if you're collecting data from OPCDA module in the N3uron and you want to expose the OPCDA data to OPCUA server, then you can do it with the N3uron. So basically when you create OPCUA server in the N3uron, it will act as a protocol converter. So it will convert your Modbus data to OPCUA, your Modbus serial or Modbus TCP, whatever it is, your backnet data to OPCUA, your OPCDA data to OPCUA, your OPCUA data to OPCUA. So it will basically convert all the data available from any data acquisition module. So it will convert that data to OPCUA. Now here you can see in the N3uron node I have configured the OPCUA server, and here you can see the network interface on which OPCUA server is running on my local network interface. Okay, in my local host, and the TCP port it is using is 3005. So if I go to the UA Expert software and if I try to add this server, and if I browse here, then you can see N3uron OPCUA server running on my local network interface on 3005 TCP port. Okay, I can connect with it, and here you can see the cap server tag. You can see the value, live value is updating. You can see metric and OPC tag. Okay, you can see the value, random value, and also you can see the process OPCDA PS integer 1 variable value. Okay, so all these are OPCDA server, and we are reading the OPCDA server data in the OPCUA. Okay, so that is possible. Now, whenever you try to add the server, you will only see this endpoint URL, but you want additional endpoint URL. Okay, then how you can create that additional endpoint URL in the N3uron node? So if you visit the N3uron node, okay, and if you go to the OPCUA server module, here in the end you can see the additional endpoint. Okay, so there you can add additional endpoint in your OPCUA server on another network interface. Okay, so if I click on 3 dot and if I click on the new endpoint, so I'm going to leave it as a new endpoint, and here you can see the network interface. Previously there is already one OPCUA server endpoint URL. It's working on local network interface, so I'm going to change the network interface to Wi-Fi network interface. Okay, and I'm going to select it, and then we will scroll down here and we will allow the anonymous user, and we will disable all other security policy and the message mode, and we will enable the non-security policy. Okay, and then I'm going to save it. So now we have two endpoint URL, okay, which is running on this local host interface, and second one is running on my Wi-Fi interface. Now if I go back to the UA Expert and if I remove the server from here, if I click on the plus icon to add the server, now you can see previously whenever we have refreshed it, it was only searching for this endpoint URL, okay, which is running on my local host. Now if I rebrowse it again, you can see there is one more endpoint URL which is same N3uron OPCUA server endpoint URL, but it is running on different network interface. You can see 192.168.1.5. So this is how you can create additional endpoint URL in the N3uron node for your OPCUA server. So now I can connect to this URL as well with the non-security policy, and also I can drag and drop this tags here. Okay, and you can see every value is updating. Also I can connect to the another URL, okay, another endpoint URL. That is also fine. You can see this one is the new one and this one is the previous one. So both will provide me the data. So what our agenda for this video is how to create an additional endpoint URL for OPCUA server running inside the N3uron node. So that is completed. We have created the additional endpoint URL on our different network interface, and that is visible here. Okay, so when you click on this plus, now you can see in the URL we are browsing is this one. We are browsing the localhost URL. Okay, but in the browse you can see the Wi-Fi interface endpoint URL as well. Okay, so this is how it is going to be work. So you have your two URL for same OPCUA server with the N3uron. Okay, so this is possible with the N3uron. So I hope this thing is clear that how you can add the additional endpoint URL in the N3uron node. So if you still have any question or any doubt regarding the additional endpoint URL, then you can always ping me on Telegram, Instagram, WhatsApp. Okay, the link is available here. Also you can ping me on LinkedIn. Also you can comment on this video, and also you can send me a mail. So I hope this thing is clear. that how you can add additional endpoint URL in the N3uron OPC UA server. So we will meet you in the next video, and in the next video we are going to cover this topic, how to disable allow anonymous connection and create a user for your OPC UA server connection. So right now, whenever we are trying to connect with this endpoint URL, it won't ask for any username and password, but we want the security. Okay, we want to create a user that only user allowed to connect with the OPC UA server. Then how we can do that? So that thing we are going to see in the next video. So stay tuned for the next video. Till then, take care, goodbye, and thank you.